Well, I tell you what, that's the Stars and Stripes Forever. And I see some Marine World folks online here. I don't know, Raina, Rob, I don't know if you folks ever did any circus type stuff, but a word to the wise, as wonderful as that march is, Stars and Stripes Forever, it's the national march since 1987, 1988. Excuse me. If you ever hear that in a tented event like a circus or a carnival, if you ever hear the band play that or that played over the PA, three words: get the hell out, forwards. Get the hell out, because that's code. Behind the scenes, circus and carny folk know that that means there's a fire on the lot somewhere. So go to your battle stations. So as a townie, as they would say, if you ever hear that, get the hell out. There's my advice for the day, and you're welcome. Let me know how the sound is. Let me know how the visuals are. This is a mulligan. I did a show earlier, and it did not turn out so very well. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of a do-over. I'll play some different tunes and stuff, but I do want to play. I do want to play the commercial that I have teed up for you. Oh, speaking of which, today's show is brought to you by the letters WTF and the number 1600, as well as Ovaltine. Gives you rocket power, as you'll see. And there are the tip jars. Thank you very much, Miss Mallory. If you have a little bad karma to work off, could use a little extra good karma. You Catholics, if you could use a little time off in purgatory, feel free to hit those links. PayPal.me/Stevie Coyle or on Venmo, Mighty Fine Guitars, and be a little time off your purgatory. Well, that wasn't the key I was in, was it? Da, da, da. I'm singing Glenn's parts. Da 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 da. Everybody. Big finish. Ah. Thank you very much. Thank you. As I wait for that ovation to die down, ponder my next tune. Oh, I did wanted to mention to you that yes, we're webcasting from the wine cellar today. It's a little warm in bucolic Lafayette, so we're down in the wine cellar amongst the Lafitte. The there's a foot joke in there somewhere. I'll have it for you next week. Are there any requests? Any comments? Is the guitar balanced against the vocal? This is the ongoing saga, the ongoing question. There's the guitar sound. It looks good on the little meters we have, but we don't know. We can't tell because we're both in the same room. A hand, please, speaking of which, for Miss Valerie May for helping me out with this tedious stuff of monitoring dials and switches and knobs and helping me tote all this stuff down to the wine cellar. I had a request that I played in the first version of this show at 1:30 that was fantastic. My God, I was a god in human form. It was just that good. But I ditched that whole show because it didn't look pretty. It wasn't right. I'd done some stuff wrong. So I want to play you this little tune that I played a million times before. I just love it. But I'll see if I can spruce it up a little bit by playing something a little different beforehand. And this is for, I wish I could remember who requested this in email. If you have requests for any of these things, because I do these shows on Thursdays at 1:30 and sometimes at 3 o'clock too, when things go south. And on Monday nights at 7:30, that's all Pacific time, of course. Adjust for your local area stations. Major 7th violation. There's a flag on the play, folks. Let's jump into something. Doesn't involve a major 7th chord. There is a place I know way down in Mexico, high in the old Sierra Madres, where many an outlaw band from across the Rio Grande have found a haven, a holdout, a hideaway. But danger rides with those who stray upon that secret hideaway, where death is sure to welcome anyone within the law. But if a man must run from any lawman's gun, he'll find compadres in the old Sierra Madres. Deep in the dark of night, beside the campfire's light, they weave the tales of the lives of the bandits, of jewels rare and old, of coaches filled with gold, of hold-ups pulled off just like they planned it. But danger rides with those who stray upon that secret hideaway where death is sure to welcome anyone within the law. But if a man must run from any lawman's gun, he'll find compadres in the old Sierra Madres. I got this one, it's okay. Although, if you have a guitar, go grab it, because I'm going to give a little lesson at the end of the lesson here, at the end of the performance, or whatever this is I'm doing. Deep in the dark of night, beside the campfire's light, they weave the tales of the lives of the bandits, of jewels rare and old, of coaches filled with gold, of hold-ups pulled off just like they planned it. But danger rides with those who stray upon that secret hideaway where death is sure to welcome anyone within the law. But if a man must run from any lawman's gun, he'll find compadres in the old Sierra Madres. There is a place I know way down in Mexico, high in the old Sierra Madres, where many an outlaw band from across the Rio Grande have found a haven, a holdout, a hideaway. But danger rides with those who stray upon that secret hideaway where death is sure to welcome anyone within the law. But if a man must run from any lawman's gun, he'll find compadres in the old Sierra Madres. Join me. But if a man must run from any lawman's gun, he'll find compadres in the old Sierra Madres. Oh, isn't that a great song? Written by Woody Paul, the king of the cowboy fiddlers, from a band called Riders in the Sky. Had a request for that. I never turned down that request. It's one of my favorite tunes. I played it thousands of times. John Ennis, did you sing along? I'm sure you did. Very good. He's heard it thousands of times too. Are there any comments or questions? Anything that needs dealing with? The sounds are going out. The sights are going out. We're making contact with the stratosphere and then down to all the rest of us. Very good. Glad to hear it. I mentioned we have a sponsor today, and we'll be going to commercial in just a few minutes. Our sponsor today is Ovaltine. Remember Ovaltine? Yeah, me too. Full of sugar. Oh, goodness, full of sugar, which gave you rocket power. You bet, despite the fact that your parents perhaps didn't want you to have rocket power. What was the other request I had, Ducky? I can't remember. Yeah, there's that. The Witch of the Westmoreland, that's kind of every other week. I got to do that. I can't do that every week because it makes me cry. But I'll do one at the end of the set that's akin to The Witch. How's that? If you're here, raise your hand, please, which is to say, if you're here, do sign in. Do say hello, just so that I know you were here. You don't have to say much, but if you wouldn't mind, just let me know that you're here. And perhaps if you need something to say, you could say, I'm webbing in from XYZ, from Milpitas. I have lots of fans in Milpitas. You might be webbing in from places other than west of the Altamont Pass. You may be out there in South America, like Arkansas or Mississippi, something like that, or the Far East, Chicago. So by all means, do let me know where you're webbing in from. It's kind of like postcards from like you used to get postcards. A very nostalgic show today, as you could tell from the opening thing. That opening thing was film shot by a tourist to Juneau, Alaska in 1955. And it's beautiful footage. And I'm going to go back, if you have a moment, go back too. Because there's one moment in the film where I think it's a float. And I think the gist of the float is it's a pan of cupcakes. And there are pretty women sort of buried up to their necks in frosting of some sort. And it says Baker's Dozen along the side there. Some sort of Juneau baker perhaps thought that was a good idea. And at the time, it was perhaps a better idea than it is now. But highly hilarious. And there's all kinds of stuff going on in that little parade. Take a look. Highly nostalgic as well. Because remember parades? Remember parades? Remember not being in, under house arrest? I remember that. That was it 3 months ago or 4? I don't recall either. They all blend together, which is why this is called the Blur's Day webcast. Thank you for tuning in. I do this every Blur's Day at 1:30, and then I do it again at 3 if things screw up. Still learning the ropes here. Got the guitar part down pretty good. The singing is, it's kind of, I hit most of the notes, but it's all the technical stuff. Holy smokes. Good thing I've got all of this wine to keep us company down here. I think they'll do that without the choker on there. Glenn, if you're out there, Glenn's my partner in the duo called The Quitters. Glenn, if you're out there, please be prepared to take a solo on this one. And record it like you did last week. That was really cool. It'd be great to be able to post a video of you taking a solo on this. Glenn is a fantastic guitarist. I hope you'll see soon. In fact, you know what? While I'm holding 2 notes here ad nauseum, we are going to be doing a show. We're going to be doing a takeover of the Fiddler's Crossing page. Fiddler's Crossing is a wonderful folk and acoustic venue down in Tehachapi, California. And we're going to be doing a takeover of their Facebook web stream on the 25th of this month. And tune us in if you can. The Quitters on the 25th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to set up in Glenn's backyard and, many feet apart from each other. But you won't know because the cameras will be, they'll take care of that. And we're going to do a show, play a gig together, which we haven't done since, I don't know, January, February, way back there. It's ridiculous, but it's what it is. And it's right. Make me down a pallet on your floor. Make me down a pallet on your floor. Ah, honey, make it down, make it soft and low. Then maybe my good gal, she won't know. Honey, I can't lay down on your bed. Honey, I can't lay down on your bed. Honey, I can't lay down on your feather bed, 'cause my good gal, she might shoot me dead, as well she should. Make me down a pallet on your floor. Make me down a pallet on your floor. Ah, honey, make it down, make it soft and low. then maybe my good gal, she won't know. The way I've been sleeping, my back and shoulders tired. The way I've been sleeping, my back and shoulders tired. Ah, the way I've been sleeping, my back and shoulders tired. Gonna roll over, try sleeping on my side. My favorite verse in folk music. Make me down a pallet on your floor. Make me down a pallet on your floor. Ah, honey, make it down, make it soft and low. Then maybe my good gal, she won't know. Take one, Glenn. Ah, make me down a pallet on your floor. Everybody! Make me down a pallet on your floor. Just the boys. Ah, honey, make it down, make it soft and low. Say, girls, come on in. Then maybe my good gal, she won't know. Ah, make me down a... Everybody else. Nouns and verbs and adjectives and all like that. Ah, honey, make it down, make it soft and low. Then maybe my good gal, she won't know. Very nice. Very nice. Sounded terrific. Good on you. Any comments or requests? Anything that needs dealing with instantly? The balance is good, kids. Let me know what you think. The balance between the guitar and the vocal. I've tried a million different systems. This is yet another one, and we're trying to hone in on the one that sounds the best. So let me know what you think of the sounds and the sights and the blend of the two. All right? All right. Here's one. I don't do this often, but I'm feeling particularly ecumenical today. You can sing along with this too. This is kind of a cry for acceptance in its own way. A song by Tom Waits. I don't go to church on Sunday. Don't get on my knees to pray. I don't memorize the books of the Bible. I got my own special way. Well, I know that Jesus loves me, maybe just a little bit more. When I fall down on my knees every Sunday at Zerilda Lee's candy store. It's got to be a chocolate Jesus to make me feel so good inside. Got to be a chocolate Jesus to keep me satisfied. Oh, I don't want no Abba Zaba, don't want no almond joy. There ain't nothing better, more suitable for this boy. Well, the only thing that can pick me up better than a cup of gold, got to be a chocolate Jesus to satisfy my soul. When the weather gets rough and it's whiskey in the shade, best to wrap your Savior up in cellophane. He flows like the big muddy, but that's okay. Pour him over ice cream for a nice parfait. Well, it's got to be a chocolate Jesus that's good enough for me. Got to be a chocolate Jesus that's good enough for me. Don't sing this song in South Carolina. Take my advice. I tried that just one time, and I don't mean to try it twice. It's a true story. It happened just like that. Speaking of chocolate, our program today is co-sponsored again by the letters WTF and the number 1600, as well as Ovaltine. Take it away, Captain Midnight.
Attention. To help carry on our important work, I want you to join the Secret Squadron and wear this official badge and have this secret decoder. Following each week's adventure, I'll send an important secret message, and only Secret Squadron members who have decoders can decode them. Also, later I'll tell you the simple rules for joining the Secret Squadron, but you must promise to do as I do. Keep yourself healthy and mentally alert. And drink Ovaltine every day. It's the official drink of the Secret Squadron. We Secret Squadron members know chocolate-flavored Ovaltine helps give us what we need for rocket power. Yes, just as a rocket adds thrust during takeoff, Ovaltine can add the kind of nourishment so important for rocket power. We drink Ovaltine hot for breakfast. Good, too. And cold for lunch and between meal snacks. And hot again at bedtime to help keep us revved up with rocket power. Believe me, Ovaltine's got what it takes to help you be a leader in your gang. So drink instant Ovaltine every day.
That's right. It's got what you need to keep revved up all the time. Lots and lots of sucrose. Yum. Good for you, too. Thank you. That's Captain Midnight from the old Captain Midnight show. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping in. He'll be back. There was a request I had for a song called "The Witch of the West Maryland." I do that every couple of weeks or so, but there's another one I wanted to do for you just real quick, and this is going to be a little quick show today. Thanks for tuning in very much. Thank you very much. Could we flash the tip jar information just one more time, Miss Valerie? Thank you very much. Here it is. The PayPal address is paypal.me/Stevie Coyle. If you have a PayPal address, that's the way to do that. If you don't, you can get one, and then you could PayPal to Stevie@steviecoyle.com. That's the way that works. If you have a Venmo account, just Mighty Fine Guitars, and your contributions are appreciated, but not expected. Although I will say, for those of you that are Catholics or lapsed Catholics, like some of us in this very room, this could be some time off your purgatory that you could really use. Remember Sister Godzilla Marie used to say, this would be time off your purgatory if you clean the chalkboard, clean the erasers, pick up the trash in the playground. This is like that, and it's just as true now as it was then. So, keep that in mind if you would, please. And I'm going to play one more. This is not... Oh, and I should mention, I just realized as I was tuning there, at the end of this here little program, of this little electronic program, is going to be a guitar lesson that I have recorded onto YouTube many years ago. I've forgotten exactly. But it's a lovely, if I do say so myself, it's a lovely little guitar lesson for beginners and intermediate folks that want to get into finger picking, really designed for beginners. So if you've got a guitar lying around the house that you've wondered what to do with because this was your New Year's resolution back in 1989 and it's been kind of a planter or a scenic device in your house for all these years, but you've never really learned to play it, this might be a good one to get started on. Shows you how to play the fingerstyle part of Landslide, which is a lovely little tune and easier than you think to play. So stick around at the end of this webcast because that's coming up. Before that happens, I want to play one song for you that's in an alternate tuning. For those of you interested in taking guitar lessons, yes, I give them. Yes, I do. And beginners are totally welcome. A lot of folks say, oh, you don't teach beginners, do you? Hell yes. 2 words. Hell yes. I sure do, because it's really fun to teach beginners. Beginners make bigger jumps all at once in a single lesson, and it happened this morning in the lesson I was giving. The woman I was teaching became a better guitarist like that. It was quite wonderful. All of a sudden, she got something. It crystallized. She incorporated it into her playing, and I was there. And I get a huge vicarious kick out of that stuff. So if you're a beginner, sign up. Sign up. Shoot me a little email. Contact me on Facebook Messenger. There's a million ways to get in touch. And feel free, and let's do some guitar lessons. What do you say? Make some good use of this time we're spending under house arrest. For more advanced players, if you're interested in some alternate tuning stuff, I'm going to play in a little alternate tuning right now. This is called Dadgad, because that's how it's spelled. D-A-D-G-A-D is how you tune the strings. And it has this big, full, kind of mysterious sort of Celtoid sort of sound to it. But it's got to be just right. Give me just a moment here, kids. Pretty close. Was sailing homeward one night on the deep. Swinging in my hammock, I fell asleep. I dreamed a dream and I thought it true, concerning Franklin and his gallant crew. With 100 seamen he sailed away to the frozen ocean in the month of May, to seek a passage around the pole, where we poor sailors do sometimes go. Through cruel hardships they mainly strove. Their ship on mountains of ice was drove. Only the Eskimo in his skin canoe was the only one that ever came through. My burden, it gives me pain to find lost Franklin. I would cross the main 10,000 pounds in gold would I freely give to say on earth that my Franklin do live. 'Twas sailing homeward one night on the deep, swinging in my hammock I fell asleep. I dreamed a dream and I thought it true, concerning Franklin and his gallant crew. Well, thank you very much, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the Blur's Day webcast. I'll be back on Monday night at 7:30. Feel free to hit the tip jar. The widows and orphans, thank you very much. Time off in purgatory with lapsed Catholics. Tip jar information is paypal.me/Stevie Coyle. Venmo information is just Mighty Fine Guitars, all one word, no caps, no nothing fancy in there like I have in the picture. And stick around if you'd like a little guitar lesson. This is a recording I made several years ago, all about the tune Landslide, which is that lovely bubbly thing that I'm in the wrong tuning to demonstrate for you right now. Clever me. But it'll take you start to finish, and by the end of it, you'll be able to play the verse form of Landslide. How about that? The video is also available on, it's also up on YouTube, and you can find it there and work with it any old time you like. And yes, I give guitar lessons. Hit me up. Thanks a lot, folks. Nice to see you all. Stevie Coyle and Miss Valerie May signing off from Bucolic, Lafayette. Stick around for the guitar lesson. Hi there. StevieCoyle.com here. Playing Landslide. Fleetwood Mac recorded it. Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks wrote it. Pretty cool tune. And you can play it. That's the coolest part of all. Stay tuned. I'll show you how. Hang on just a second here. Let me do a little clicky. All right. Now see, what we have here is the problem of the headless guitarist. I could either play this for you, and you could see my hands and not my face, which are arguably preferable. I realize. I heard that, wise guy. But all in all, I want to be able to talk to you, because this is what a Skype lesson is going to look like. If you and I work together online, it's going to look just like this, all right? We'll have a little close-up on my face. I have a close-up on the left hand and the right hand. So, all right, for Landslide, 3 chords. You need a capo 3. Grab your capo, tune up, get your electronic tuner out. It's not cheating to use an electronic tuner. Don't let anybody tell you that it is. Capo 3. Then, what we're going to need, let me click over and show you the left-hand view here. There it is. You need a C chord. It's one of them right there. Here's a little system that I use. I want to explain to you my little system for describing where notes are on the fingerboard. Okay? Check it out here. Let's go back to the left hand. This right here, that note right there in a C chord, and of course I'm presuming it's a C chord against the capo here. It's not really a C chord. It's an an E flat minor, E flat or a D sharp. But for our purposes, let's call it a C chord, since that's the shape we're using here. All right, that note right there, I'd call that 21. Second string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Strings are numbered that way. So this would be 21. Second string, first fret, 2, 1. Here's 4, 2, 42. There's 5 string, 3 fret. That's 53. And there's a C chord. All right, good. You'll need one of those. The next chord you will need, I would suggest the best way to get to it is take your middle finger off of 42, go over to 52 and play that all by itself, and let your little finger come down here to 23. You want a 52 onto 23. What this is the inside of a G chord. You know, a big fat bluegrass G chord like this, you know. Not the folky G chord like that, the campfire G chord, the almost always out of tune G chord, and I'll talk about that later. I've got a great rant all about that. You'll really like it. That'll be in a subsequent lesson. All right, but you want these two notes that are at the inside of a bluegrass G chord, a 52 and a 23. Either play with your first and third fingers or your second and fourth. I like second and fourth myself because it's a quicker hop. I don't have to turn my hand over to get to it. I can jump right to it here. And it's especially handy since my next chord is an A minor 7th chord. I can go right to that. How about that? That's a 21 and a 42. It looks an awful lot like that C chord, except you're not playing anything on the 5th string here. Those are the 3 chords we're going to start off with in Landslide. All right, there's a C chord. There's the inside G. Yep, there's an A minor 7th. Cool. You doing it? Just strum those. Finger your way through those. What you'll need is some left hand strength. If you're brand new to picking, just practice these chords. Practice moving from one to the other, keeping your hand as close as you can to the neck. This is something I'll be talking about in subsequent lessons, is some of the stuff that's implicit in instruction materials that I think is just dead freaking wrong. Can I say freaking and wrong next to each other on YouTube? I hope so. All right, let's move over to the right hand now. What the right hand is going to do is this. Notice how the thumb is going back and forth? The thumb is just going back and forth between the 5th string and the 4th string. 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. Now see here the numbers refer to the strings, not the frets. And I'll be very careful about letting you know what the heck number I'm referring to. Numbers in guitar lessons online here on Skype could refer to strings, frets, intervals, the fingers of either hand. Do this with me. If you haven't done this yet, just grab a fistful of strings up here. Go ahead and dull the strings out. And just play 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. Right? Good. Now you can, if you want to, you can kind of prop your hand on that low string there if it helps you out, if it helps you orient on the guitar. We'll move it off later, but for starters, feel free to do that. All right? I feel like Brother Bob. Put a happy little tree right in here. It's your right hand. You do what you want with it. So here's 5, 4 going back and forth. Now, let's start off doing this right out of the gate. Assign these fingers to these three strings. So this is what I'm about to tell you is a big lie, but I'll tell you why it's a lie in a little bit after I've gotten the usefulness of the lie extracted. All right? So let's pretend that forever your thumb is going to handle these 3 low strings all by itself. Your first finger will always be on the 3rd string. Your middle finger will always handle stuff going on the 2nd string. And your ring finger will handle stuff all the time on this high string. So for the purposes of our exercise, since we're only going to be concerned with these middle 4 strings, 5, 4, 3, and 2, your thumb will handle 5 and 4. All right, that. Your first finger will handle the 3rd string. Your second finger will handle the 2nd string. And your pattern here will be 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2. And what you're going for is the feeling of that thumb bouncing back and forth in this just completely inexorable way. Come in. Bessie's here. Just like that. Good for you. All right, now, just a word about patterns, all right? I'm going to show you this little pattern. I'll continue showing you this, but only if you promise to realize that playing patterns, for the most part, sounds like playing patterns. It's not very intentional. Once I establish a pattern for you, I'm going to sweep it away from you and get you playing stuff that's much more intentional. The pattern in all of this is just that thumb going back and forth between those 2 strings. That's the pattern. 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2 is not the pattern. The thumb going back and forth between 5 and 4, that's the pattern. Let me plant that seed. I'll go back and harvest that in a subsequent lesson. All right, so let's take a look at both hands now and see what's shaking. We got a C chord in the left hand, right? Right. I was doing my Alfredo Garcia impersonation up here. Here's the C chord, and me doing my pattern over here with the right hand. 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4. 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4. That's the pattern. 2, 5, 3, 4. 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4. 5, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4. Cool. Do that a ton. In fact, if you can find a good movie to sit down and practice that in front of, myself, I like Creature of the Black Lagoon. I think it's a great one to practice any new stuff with. So practice your C chord playing 5 3 4 2 5 3 4 5 3 4 2 5 3 4. Even say it out loud to yourself, or at least in your mind's ear, say it to yourself, because each of those numbers, as they're pronounced there, have one syllable and take about the same amount of time to say. That's what you should be playing here. So 1 3 4 2 5 3 4. There's a little extra. 4 is like 4. So 5 3 4 2 5 3 4. 5 3 4 2 5 3 4. That's that bluegrass G, inside of the bluegrass G chord here, right? That's 52 and 23. Remember that, our old pal? And then move down to an A minor 7th chord. Do one pattern of 5 3 4 2 5 3 4 for each of these chords, down and back. You'll play a C, an inside G, an A minor 7, an inside G, and a C. Cool? 5 3 4 2 5 3 4 5 3 4 2 5 3 4. You get the picture. I took my love and I took it down, etc. All right, off you go. Surf on over to Netflix and get Creature of the Black Lagoon. It's just great for the song. Don't ask me why. Ta-ta. See you on Skype.